perfect. Okay, so the training tonight is called Conversations to Connections. And just like flowers don't bloom overnight, relationships need consistent care. So in our business, people don't usually make decisions because we pushed them harder or explained it better or followed up 20 times, right? They make decisions when they feel seen, heard, understood, and supported. So this training is gonna be about how to learn how to nurture people and not necessarily chase them. So it's really about nurture to grow. So turning those conversations into connection. And since May, if you guys notice, we pick a theme every single month. And this month's theme is about nurturing because we're celebrating Mother's Day on Sunday. Um, we love all the mothers. We're a lot of nurturers. I think there's a lot of mothers in our team, right? And also, when it comes to nurturing, we think about growth, right? The seeds we're planting. So I want us to think about our business like a garden. Um, and also, if you're a mother, like how you would nurture and support your family, right? It's kind of the same thing. We kind of do it, but we don't really think of it in that same terms. But you're not going to plant the seed one day, right? Stare at the dirt the next and say, why haven't you bloomed yet? Right? You have to do a lot of nurturing. You have to water it. You have to give it sunlight. You have to give it some time. You have to protect the environment that it's in. And you keep showing up, right? So people are the same way. Our prospects and customers, even our team members, they are not transactions. And sometimes we think of it like that, like a numbers. I know a lot of people talk about the numbers game, right? But people aren't transactions. They have real lives, they have real needs, they have real timing, real objections, real goals. So, one of the biggest skills we can develop in this business is learning how to communicate in a way that builds trust instead of pressure. I'm going to move on. So, following up versus truly nurturing. Move this out of the way. So, let's start with the difference between following up and nurturing. A follow up can sound like this: Hey, just checking in. Are you ready to order? Or did you watch the video I sent? Or have you made a decision yet? Or are you going to join me? Right? Now, there's definitely nothing wrong with the follow-up because we all know the fortunes in the follow-up, right? That's where we get the yes. But if every follow-up is just asking for a decision, it can start to feel like pressure. It feels, like I said, transactional, like you only want them to do something for you, right? So nurturing is different. Nurturing sounds like, I was thinking about what you shared with me about your energy, and I wanted to send you something that may be helpful. Or no pressure at all, but I remembered you mentioned wanting something gentle for digestion, and we have a short training this week that might answer some of your questions. Or maybe like, I know timing has been busy for you, just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Or something like, you came to my mind today because I know you've been wanting to feel more consistent with your wellness routine. So doesn't that sound different? Right? Nurturing is not just checking the box, it's creating a real connection with people. So following up asks, are you ready? But nurturing asks, how can I serve you where you are? Right? I'm going to say that again because that's super powerful. If we are always thinking in our heads how we can serve people, how can I serve you where you are right now? So I want you guys to drop in the chat what you think people feel when they are nurtured versus being chased. Just drop in the chat. How do you think people feel when they're being nurtured, right? Versus being chased. Yep, I love it. Laura says they feel loved. CJ says appreciated, loved, right? It's just, it's a different, it comes from a servant heart, right? And so that's exactly it. People feel loved, they feel appreciated, they feel safe, right? They feel seen, they feel respected. And when people feel safe, they stay open, right? They're they're likely to trust you and be open to what you're going to share with them. So this is really about asking better questions before making recommendations. So one of the biggest mistakes people make in wellness or network marketing is really recommending too soon. So right, someone says, I'm tired, and then immediately we want to say, you need this product. You're like, I just said I was tired. Why are you trying to sell me something? Right? Or someone says, I need to lose weight, and immediately you want to say, you need to buy this pack, get a scan, buy a tea, buy a protein powder, or sign up for this challenge. But here's what I want you to remember. The person who asks better questions usually creates better trust. I want to repeat that. The person who asks better questions usually creates better trust. So before we recommend, we just need to understand. For example, instead of immediately saying what they need, ask, how long have you been feeling that way? What have you already tried? What would you love to feel differently in the next 30 days? Or is your biggest struggle energy, sleep, digestion, weight, stress, or consistency? Are you looking for something simple to start with? Or are you ready for a full reset? Right? These are really great questions, right? People are like, oh, they're thinking, they really care about what's going on with me. Or you could say something like, would you say your main goal is to feel better, look better, or understand what your body might need? How many of you guys, it's okay if you're not, but this is another reason why we did that training, I think it was like a month ago, about our health assessment survey, a month or two ago. Right, how many of you guys are utilizing that? This is literally one of the easiest, simplest ways to ask the right questions and start making the connections. There's actually a lot of these questions in a simple 2-minute survey. So if you're feeling not comfortable or not sure, or oh, I'm going to say the wrong thing, send them the health survey. Right? Just have it, make it coming from a servant heart, but that's going to really help with making the right connection because you're asking the right questions. And these questions do a few powerful things, right? They're going to slow us down, right? We're not going to be chasing people. They're going to help the person feel heard. They're going to give us real information that we really probably need to know, and they're going to prevent us from over talking. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, and I'm guilty. They make us they make us be more thoughtful when it comes to our recommendations. So in our health and wellness business, people don't want to feel like they're being sold a random product. They want to feel like there's a reason behind the recommendation. They want personalization, they want certainty, they just really want to know that you care about them. So the simple framework really is ask before you advise, right? Ask questions before you give them answers. And you can kind of remember it like this. First, you ask, which leads to you listening, right? Because you can't ask and then not hear what they said. You have to listen to what they're saying. Then you need to reflect on it, like, and then you need to be really thoughtful with your recommendation. So ask the question, listen for the answer, reflect back what you heard, and then just make a simple recommendation. So example, so what I'm hearing, right? You just said, I'm listening. So what I'm hearing is that your biggest struggle is afternoon energy, bloating, staying consistent. So based on that, I wouldn't overwhelm you with everything. I'd probably start with something simple and foundational. Would you be open to me sharing what I suggest? How many of you guys would say, it's hard to say no to that. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd like to know what you would suggest, right? So that one sentence feels very different, right? It feels different than you need this pack, right? Because now the recommendation is connected to what they actually told you, and you listened, you reflected it, and then you gave them a really thoughtful recommendation or solution. So, listening for the signals. So, this really breaks it down to four things, right? So, you're going to listen for needs, goals, objections, and timing. So, when we're nurturing people, we have to learn how to listen, right, beyond the surface. So, there's four things I want you to listen for in every conversation. If I want to write these down. Needs, goals, objections, and timing. So there's four things. Needs. We'll just start with needs. So what are they struggling with now? That's a need. Are they tired? Are they overwhelmed, inflamed, bloated, stressed, trying to support their family, looking for more income, needing community, wanting better habits? Again, the health assessment survey actually tells you immediately what they need. Sometimes people tell us directly, like some people really will just be real direct at it. Otherwise, most people just hint at it. Or you have to kind of ask them a lot of questions to really get the real answer, right? They might say something like, I'm just exhausted all the time, or I feel like I need to get back on track, or I don't know, I need to do something. I just don't know where to start, right? Those are like subtle hints, but they're also legitimate needs. They're really trying to tell you something, what they need. And number two is goals. Where do they want to go? Right? What goal do they want? Do they want more energy? Do they want better digestion, a healthier routine? Maybe they're just looking for some place to build their confidence, weight support, a business option, extra income, right? This isn't just about product, personal growth, a community. Maybe they want all of it. So a great question is, what would feel like a win for you over the next 30 days? That's a great question. I actually wish I would have said that to a lot of people. I'm going to repeat that. What would feel like a win for you over the next 30 days? You could use this on anybody, a customer, a prospect, a team member. We all want to win at something over the next 30 days. So this helps them connect to a goal. Number three is objections. And guess what? Objections aren't always rejection. Remember that. People hear an objection and immediately they feel totally rejected. Oh, no, it's how you handle it. It's not a rejection. When someone has an objection, it's just because they have unanswered questions. That's why. So if they have an objection, then we're not doing our jobs by asking questions that we can help give answers to, right? So they may be thinking, these are all common objections. Is this too expensive? Will this actually work for me? Can I trust this? Do I have time? Will I be pressured or pressured other people? Is this something I've tried before? What will my spouse think? Am I going to fail again? So when we nurture, we don't argue with objections. We're not arguing with them, right? These are valid objections because of things they've experienced in their past. These are things that they're worried about. So, what you can say in a nurturing tone is that makes total sense, right? I empathize, right? Can I ask some more questions? Can I ask what your biggest concern is? Or something like, I completely understand. Is it more timing? Is it cost or just needing more information? We just have to know how to ask better questions. So this helps you understand what's really going on. Timing is huge. Some people really are ready now. Some people need more education. Some people need a sample. Some people need to come to like an in-person event or online event. Some people need a month to digest, all the information. Some people need to watch you for like 6 months or a year before they even trust what you're even talking about. So nurturing respects timing without disappearing. And a great nurturing phase is no pressure at all. I'll keep you in the loop. And when the timing feels right, we can talk about what makes the most sense for you, right? That just keeps the door open. And that's really truly what we want is we just want to make sure that people know that door is always open and you're always going to be there when the timing is right. So simple touches, right? So these are touch points that nurture relationships. So I just want to talk about some practical ways to nurture without being weird, pushy, or overcomplicated. I always have this phrase in my head, don't be weird, just be cool. Introverts, right? We need that phrase because sometimes I can feel a little weird. Um, so nurturing does not have to be a 3 hour conversation. It can be like simple touch points. So some of these are voice messages. So voice messages are really powerful because people can hear your tone, your voice, right? Sometimes it doesn't come out right in a text. So a quick voice message could sound like, "Hey friend, I was just thinking about you because you mentioned wanting more energy, better routines. No pressure to respond right away, but I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Also, I have something coming up this week that might be helpful if you're still interested." Right? That feels human. Sounds like it's coming from you. And now that everyone's using ChatGPT and everything else, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is AI," and I don't know if she's really saying it, those voice messages I feel like are going to be more powerful than ever. And do you guys agree with that? Put in the chat if you think. I know it's a little crazy with the ChatGPTs. We all love it, but this is the personal connection people want. Another touch point would be a check-in, right? And check-ins can be simple. It could just be like, "How are you feeling this week? How did that product sit with you? Were you able to try the new tea yet? Right? How is your energy since you started? Even like, are you feeling supported or do you need help adjusting your routine?" Right? Customers, like we're going to go back to our product lovers, right? They feel they stay product lovers when they feel supported. And it's just these simple little check-ins, which we're supposed to be doing every day, all week, right? Our 5 by 5. Another touch point is stories and social media. You got to use them. And stories more than ever. Stories are a real nurturing tool, right? Your personal story, put it on stories, put it on Facebook, right? The social media. You need to share stories. I really appreciate when CJ sent me personal testimonials. You can actually take anything out of that testimonial group, by the way, screenshot it, do testimonial Tuesdays. People put it in a group like that, just crop out their name or whatever, but share those. Thank you, CJ. Like, share your testimonies. It doesn't have to be your experiences. Borrow someone else's belief. Everyone has different stories, experiences. So use these stories or testimonies to educate, encourage, um, share testimonials, show your routine. People are just curious, like what's your routine every morning? What do you take? What do you do? Right? Show the behind the scenes, like making something, like I'm making my morning shake. Invite people to events, remind people what you stand for. Right? Sometimes people are not ready to message you, but they're watching you. And especially in Instagram and Facebook stories, you can literally see who's watching you. And believe me, I have a lot of fans. The same people watch me over and over, but they never message me, and that's okay. Maybe one day I'll just pop in their DMs, right? So your consistency is watering seeds you may not even know you planted. And then number 4 on the touch point is samples. So samples are a great nurturing tool because they reduce fear. So instead of saying, "Buy this whole pack or this whole product," you can say, "I'd love for you to experience it first and give me your honest feedback." And I know you guys know about the new berry tea. I have 20 people now that I'm sending the berry tea to because I just simply ask them to support me, try it. give some feedback with the survey and some market research, and everybody's excited to try it, right? That was, I love for them to experience it before we take the conversation any further. So that feels collaborative, right? It feels supportive. It doesn't feel transactional at all. I didn't really ask them to do anything, buy anything. All I'm asking them is for some feedback. Number five, events and education. Events are another nurturing touch point. Some people need to hear it from someone besides you. I know we had this training just a couple weeks ago or a week ago. It's third-party validation. Nobody's using it. Someone needs to hear it besides coming from you. So that is why team trainings, our monthly launch events, your launch events, sip and scans, product overviews. I'm doing natural remedies tomorrow. Like there's always something, right? They're so powerful. It's basically like third-party validation without actually getting that third person on. So you don't have to explain everything yourself. A simple invite might be based on what you shared with me. I think this short online event would really help you understand the bigger picture. No pressure. Just come listen. Come be a fly on the wall. I've said that a lot. You don't even have to have a camera on. Just put your earphones in. Just come listen and see what resonates. That's nurturing. So we're gonna just wrap it up here real quick. And I'm guilty of this too. And put in the chat if you're guilty, right? Because we're very passionate people. But we need to stop over explaining. We do not need to know everything. Analysis is paralysis. So just one thing I want to lovingly remind everyone is over explaining usually comes from a good heart, right? We're all good-hearted people, but it can also overwhelm people really quickly. So when we believe in something so much, we want to tell them everything. I call it word vomit, and I've been guilty of it. I still do it. But I catch myself now. Less is more. It really is, right? We want to tell them everything. We want to tell them the products, the scanner, the company, the composition, the science, the testimonies, the business model, the events, the tools, the ingredients. We want to get it all out in one message, right? I would freeze if someone sent me that. Too much information can literally shut people down. So a better approach is just to give people the next right step. Right? What's the next step? So ask yourself, what does this person need next? Right? Like you said, we did the touch points, the simple messaging, the simple nurturing. Do they need an answer to a question? Do they need to watch a short video? Have they tried samples yet? Do they need product recommendations? Have you invited them to an event? Have you shared your personal story? Did you get them on a three-way third-party conversation, call, Zoom, chat, whatever, right? Or do they need a simple check-in? So nurturing is not dumping everything on someone. Nurturing is guiding them from one step at a time. That's why we have a simple system that we talk about in our new affiliate training. So I just want to give you some examples of some nurturing messages, and then we'll close it up. So these are just examples that you can use this week. For a prospect who showed interest but went quiet, you could say something like, "Hey friend, I know life gets busy, so no pressure at all. I was just thinking about what you shared with me about wanting more energy and better digestion. Is that still something you're wanting support with, or should I check back another time?" Right? People probably get back to that, right? Maybe someone who's watched for a while but maybe hasn't decided. "Hey, I know you had a chance to look at a little information, and I love to know what stood out to you most or what you liked the most." I always say what you liked because it goes on more of a positive note. So was there anything that you felt interesting, maybe confusing, or worth talking through? Maybe for a customer already using products, "Hey, I just checking in and see how you're feeling with your routine. How's it going? Are you staying consistent? Would it help if we simplified how you're taking everything?" Do you see how it's not about you, it's about them, right? So this is someone who might be business minded. You came to my mind today because I know you're someone who generally cares about people. Maybe you're already in the health and wellness space. I'm not sure if this is something you've ever looked at from the business side, but I'd love to invite you to listen in and just see if anything resonates, right? Send them to an event, send them third party, send them a video. Maybe somebody you think they connect with. Maybe for a team member that maybe's gone a little silent. Hey, I just wanted you to know I see you showing up and learning. Okay, so this is probably someone who's maybe doing some things, but maybe really isn't um, reaching goals. So, and that could be anyone too. It could be inactive or someone who's just kind of fumbling a little bit, right? So I want you just basically want to show them that you see them. So I want to know I see you, right? That's important to say. Showing up and learning. Don't underestimate the seeds you're planting now. And again, I love this line. What is one goal I can help you with this week? Right? Even in an active team member, it could be anything. If you literally reach out to them and ask them if there's one goal you can help them with this week, probably people would take you up on it. So I just wanted you guys to remember people are not projects, people are not numbers, people are not transactions, people are seeds. And some are just being planted, some need watering, some need light, some need time, some need closer to blooming than you realize. So our job is not to force them to bloom. Our job is to create the environment where growth can happen. So it simply means asking better questions, listening, supporting, follow up with care, and guide people to the next step. So we just want to stay consistent without being pushy. And that's how conversations turn into connection. And connection is what creates the long-term growth. So I did want to leave you guys with a little challenge. I want you to choose 5 people that you want to connect with, or maybe you already planted seeds with this week. Send each one of them a genuine, nurturing message, not a sales pitch, not a presser message, not are you ready to order message. Send them a check-in, encouragement, maybe a helpful resource, a voice message, a sample invite, an event invite. We have a couple of those coming up, a follow-up based on where they are. Then come back and share in the chat, the team chat this week, not just who ordered or joined, so you don't have to call anyone out, but what conversations opened up because you did that.